WNY, watercooler.com.
You know where the fuck you are? You in the jungle, baby! Wake up! Time to die!
Criticism where? From where? From where?
Twitter, radio.
Yeah, I'd give a rat's ass about Twitter. It's a platform for people that are sitting home drawing an unemployment check, sitting in front of a keyboard. I'm not disregarding what you're saying. Personally, I get it at my own house. But, I mean, I just kind of felt like that social media and Twitter was destroying this country anyway. So that's how I feel about it. From politics to sports to whatever. It gives people a platform to, and then other people are like needling it and they're sitting at home and they're late on a payment. So anyway, that's how I feel.
Now it's day, I've been trying to get that taste.
Welcome back, WNYWaterCooler.com podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes, rate, like, review, whatever. Do something with us on iTunes. We got Coast on the line.
What's up, Steve?
Classic Bills game there, but we pulled it out of the wood chipper.
A win's a win.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't react to the game because it's who's going to get up for playing the Dolphins, and that's what my whole argument was. Of course, Tim muddied it with some of his odd rambling, and you with your fanboyism, but it's basically the way I thought the game was going to play out, almost exactly.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely something to them, coming off a bye week and just being flat against Miami. I mean, that team was one of the worst teams ever through 5 or 6 games or whatever, and it's got its human nature to just come out flat because they looked asleep in the first half. Like, it was horrible.
Well, that's where I'm questioning your boy McDermott, and I mean it makes me question really how dominant, they're not dominant, but if they're any good at all. But the second half, I mean, they pretty much outplayed him. They basically sort of did what they needed to.
Well, I may not even agree with that entirely because that second half, the Dolphins came out and went on a 16-play, 9-minute, 50-whatever-second drive and just marched down our throats. Like, we made some adjustments at halftime, I guess, but it didn't show on that first drive. And if Miami scores on that drive, who knows what we're talking about today. So White bailed them out big time. And, I think they converted, I can't remember how many third downs they converted on that drive, but it was an absolute march. And we didn't get the ball back till 5 minutes left in the quarter. And, yeah, we took over from there, but we still allowed a long touchdown drive in the fourth quarter. So, in my opinion, from start to finish, the defense just did not show up.
Well, we made Fitz look like a much better quarterback than Fitz is, but I mean, that's why
Fitz has those games, though. Fitz has those games once in a while. We've seen him here. Last year in Tampa, he threw for like 1,000 yards in like 2 weeks. Like he was pretty good. He made some nice plays, and the team rallied around him or something. I have no idea because they looked a lot better than I was expecting. Going into the game, I really thought they were going to have a tough time scoring 10 points, and I was just wrong on that. And it's concerning long term for our defense.
Shocker, you were wrong.
I know it never happens, but I was wrong. And in your McDermott point, I feel like teams that are well coached don't have letdown games, and they looked flat, but they won. So they played much better in the second half. They turned it around and got the win. So, at the end of the day, that's all that matters, right?
Well, I'd much rather they dominate, but now they better come back against the Eagles. Because if they come out flat against this Eagles team, a team that has some cachet, still has some respect, even though they're seemingly imploding, if they come out like this and play like that again, and I'm just thinking we'll be lucky to make a wild card.
Yeah. This game, obviously, the Eagles are much more talented, but how good are they? obviously won the Super Bowl 2 years ago with Nick Foles. Carson Wentz has a losing record as a starting quarterback in the league, except for the Nick Foles Super Bowl season where he was like 10-2 or whatever. Which I know you can't really exclude that, but
take out one of his 3 seasons.
3 out of the 4 seasons he's been in the league. This is his 4th year, right?
No, this is his 3rd year.
Well, last year was his. They went to the Super Bowl in his 2nd, and last year was his 3rd. So as a rookie, and then in his 3rd and 4th year, he's been under 500. So they had the one good year where Foles, was amazing on that team. So how much of it was really Wentz, or how much of it was the team? I'm not going to say I'm not scared of them because they're the best team we've played so far, maybe including New England, and they got some firepower. But I don't know how great Wentz is and how amazing this talent is, and why I'm interested to see. It's going to be a good test.
Yeah, this is his 4th year. Well, he didn't really. I don't think he started his 1st year, but how many touchdown passes do you think he has?
I believe he has 13 touchdowns and 4 picks.
Wow, well, that's accurate. But the line's only 1.5. You're saying you're not scared of the Eagles. Well, clearly no one believes in the Bills, or a lot of people still believe in the Eagles. I mean, it can't be both, because that line's. I mean, that's a slap in the face. How it's not 3.5 at least. I mean, that just shows that no one respects the Bills after one game against a Dolphins team that teams are going to struggle to get up against.
I think I almost went the other way on that. I was surprised we were favored because I think there's so much. There's still it's still the first half of the season, and I think that the preseason expectations still carry some weight. And a lot of people thought Philly was Philly was a Super Bowl pick for a lot of people, and they're still thinking, they'll bounce back. And the Bills, I don't know. I mean, I still listen to people that think the Bills are just. So I heard someone said the Bills are the worst 5-1 team of all time this week. I can't remember who, but
it's from their DVOA. It's your boy Shots.
Their DVOA is 2021, whatever that means. I mean,
so according to their DVOA shit, the Bills are the worst 5-1 team they've ever recorded.
That's what I heard it. I don't know, but
even in the ESPN Power Index, we're like 23rd based on however they do that. I don't know.
It's probably takes into account the teams you're playing and margin of victory, which we've been playing teams that have no wins or 1 win, and we're winning by 1 score. So I can totally see that. But if you look at these games, man, except for Miami, we've dominated most of these games. We just can't score. And we didn't against Miami. We couldn't score, but our offense was hardly on the field. I think we scored on 5 of 7 possessions, or 5 of 8 possessions against Miami.
Well, that's how Miami's going to play. I mean, just drain the clock, reduce the deficit they're going to have to try and fight against, limit the possessions. That's exactly what they would have wanted to do in that 3rd quarter. I mean, it still ended up not working, but.
Exactly, and our offense, we scored 24 points against Miami, but we weren't on the field, so I can't even really complain too much about our offense. I mean, we have to turn those drives in the first half into touchdowns. We need our players to catch the ball.
Well, we need better players. We have a shitty ass quarterback. I still wanted to circle. I want to circle back to the Eagles. Their team is decimated by injuries. That's another thing that has to play into this. They have 4 quality players that are not going to play in this game, at least.
They got Deshaun Jackson.
Peters is hurt.
Peters.
They have a defensive tackle that's hurt, and they have 2 offensive linemen that got hurt. They have a 3rd-string offensive lineman that's starting.
Well, yeah, they could not. They couldn't block when they played Dallas. When I was doing my scouting, they definitely couldn't block. But still, their first 2 drives they fumbled or 2 interceptions. I forget.
Yeah, they had fumbles.
And that's what we need out of our D. And that's what we haven't gotten into. We haven't gotten it all. I mean, I guess this we did against Miami with the fumble, but we haven't gotten takeaways that have set up our offense for points much this season at all, really. And that's what we need. But the problem is that we can't rush the passer. So we're not, we're not getting sacks. We're one of the worst teams in the league. And that's going to be a problem playing good, better offenses. So, and we need to set up our offense with short fields to get as much as we can.
Well, that's why I don't understand. That's why I don't like to use all these draft picks to trade up for players, because we weren't able to really address specific spots. Like, we draft all these tight ends, we overdraft these tight ends, and a running back who we give 7 touches to still. How is he still hurt? Or what? He's just not that good, and we can't force him a couple of friggin' balls? Well, I don't get why he still has 7 touches.
I mean, the only explanation is that they're trying to ease him back in, what
does Frank Gore have on McDermott? What, this old ass bitch?
Gore's been fine, but he's just not gonna he's not a game changer, obviously, but he's been a good player. But they have to be trying to just slowly work Singletary back, but it was pretty clear pretty early on in that game that it wasn't going to be a game where they could just cruise. I don't know if they were trying to just save stuff. We didn't really do anything on offense. Well,
that's another part of it. You're not up for the Dolphins, and you're also you feel like you're probably going to win. So are you going to pull out anything other than a vanilla offense unless you really had to?
That's what I'm saying. But we clearly, I guess at the end of the day we didn't need to, but it was seeming there for a little while. We were running design runs, and in the first half, we ran multiple design draws with Allen. I'm like, why are we putting this guy in harm's way in this game right now? I don't know. It was weird, but I'm hoping they were just saving stuff and weren't trying to put anything extra on film. And they were asleep, and that's why the game looked like it did. But Allen needs to learn how to hit a deep ball ASAP, because he's missing. They're not even close.
Why he overthrows every single pass? The only time he underthrew it, it got intercepted because that piece of shit meth head didn't come back and defend the ball. Yeah, I don't understand how he can't throw the ball 45 yards down the field accurately.
He's overthrowing guys. He overthrew Roberts, who was wide open. The two worst ones of the year were Roberts and then Brown against the Giants, where they were wide open. He overthrew by 5 yards. He overthrew Brown in this game.
Because he's scared to throw it. I think he's scared to turn the ball over, even though it would be just like a punt. Or maybe he's blind, or he needs some sort of corrective lenses. His depth perception.
I think his touch just needs work, really.
I guess that's what happened when you draft the quarterback, the 10th best quarterback out of the WCC. Sometimes you're just not going to get the cream of the fucking crop.
Well, he is looking like the cream of the crop of that draft class right now.
Is he really?
I would say so, yeah.
I guess you got to tune into a Ravens game. I don't know.
Give me a break, dude. They scored 1 touchdown. I'm not going to talk about this because they scored 1 touchdown in that game on offense. 1.
Yeah, but he runs the ball, so that's exciting. That's what he jukes. He makes people miss.
Yeah, he's exciting. He runs around. Great. He threw for 100 yards, and they scored 1 offensive touchdown on a 4th down play. I like Jackson, and I wasn't even
as a person.
Oh yeah, we're boys. I wasn't even opposed to us drafting Jackson. I think I said it before the draft. He was interesting to me. But talk about this guy as the MVP candidate, while the same people just trash Allen, to me is just so completely ridiculous.
Oh, those conversations they fluctuate wildly from one week to the next.
Yeah, I totally agree.
They get murdered by the Browns, and the Ravens season is done. And then they squeak out a win against the Seahawks, and they're the second best team in the AFC. How do you lose at home to the Browns that badly? Seattle is such an up and down team too. That's a nice victory, but
yeah, it's a good win. They got 2 defensive touchdowns. They got 2 defensive touchdowns. You want to be talking about something from that game? Talk about their defense.
Are we going to trade for Vic Beasley? What are we doing? Does Brandon Bean? He didn't pay his cell phone fucking bill this month.
We need to trade for an edge rusher.
Vic Beasley, he's a UFA. This is his 5th year. He's only had 1 season of double-digit sacks. He should only cost the 3rd or 4th round pick. I mean, it's a no-brainer. The Falcons have no reason to keep him.
Agreed. And that's something that's like the type of guy we need to bring in because our front four is just we can't get pressure, and now we're gonna give up draft capital on a guy. I hope it's there. Receiver, I actually like our receivers. I'm not as anxious to get a receiver as some people. I mean, if we could get Green for a 4th rounder for 8 games or however many games, I wouldn't be opposed to doing that. Especially if there's some chance we can sign him, but I think edge rush.
The market's fucked. We're not. I agree with you. I don't want to trade for a receiver. A, our quarterback's not going to be able to use him anyway. B, John Brown is a lot better than I thought he would be. I mean, he looks really good out there.
He's exceeded expectations. He's a legit starting receiver, NFL receiver. He's really good.
A 2nd round pick for Mohamed Sanu is outrageous.
If we did that, we would have got crucified.
Yeah. But everything they do is the greatest thing ever. So, It's so smart. They put Gordon on IR. They re-signed Gordon. It's so smart. Well, when you win every single fucking game, I guess anything you do can be perceived as smart.
Yeah, and they have nothing to lose. I mean, they could do, and they have a short window. So, who's Landers Belichick going to be there? Anyways, Brady's gone. Belichick's 68 or something?
Well, him and Guerrero and Tom, they do the plyo shit. I don't know. And they get the cheap handies in Florida. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but you're right. And then the Niners trade for Sanders for a 3rd and a 4th, and what was it? Sanders and a 5th for a 3rd and a 4th. I don't know what his contract situation is. I didn't think I would have wanted Sanders though, because I feel like he's probably similar to Brown. But
to me, they're almost the same player.
Like a guy like Green, he'd be a nice person, a nice player to get. But I'd prefer someone like Vic Beasley or something like that. If we could trade for Beasley and sign him.
I mean, the other player people talking about Robbie Anderson, I don't think the Jets would want to trade him to us. And the guy's a complete asshole. But again, he's also a pretty similar player to John Brown, too.
And Robert Foster, how much different is Robbie Anderson or Robert Foster? We have.
Where the fuck is Robert Foster?
He had that injury, and I don't know. I really have no idea. I mean, it seems like our main 3 guys are going to be Brown, Beasley, and Duke. And then we'll sprinkle in some McKenzie and Andre and trick plays. We need one of our tight ends to step it up, man.
We need
one of our tight ends to step it
up. Croft pisses me off. He's basically ruining our offense by not being out there. We're relying on friggin' Sweaty Knox, who can't do anything.
I mean, it's a given that he's going to have one drop that's going to cost us some amount of points this week. It's a guarantee. He had a huge drop last week. He had a huge drop. I think it was the Patriots game. I think it was the Patriots.
Every goddamn week he has a fucking fumble.
Yeah, huge drops, this guy. And yeah, I had high hopes for him, but we need one of these guys to step it up. And I didn't even know he played last week.
Why would you have high hopes for Knox? He was like a late 3rd round pick. I'm thinking we'll be lucky to see him in 2 years.
Frankly, it's probably just that
it's the fanboy in you?
That Cincinnati play just got me excited. This guy could be the next Gronk. And he just hasn't lived up to that play.
He did jack shit at Ole Miss. I mean, he's got a big body and he's relatively athletic, but clearly,
can't catch.
I mean, he probably had 20 targets in college.
He scored his first touchdown since junior year of high school. When
I remember his senior year, he couldn't get it. He couldn't get across the goal line.
No, I'm not kidding. It was they said he hasn't scored since junior year of high school. It was his first TD. So I don't know, but we need one of these guys to establish themselves because otherwise, we're going to go and we're going to have to try and get someone again this season. That and D-end, and I don't know.
Well, we need to use our friggin' all the salary cap space that we have, and I don't know. He
That's
had
what I mean. If we could trade for something, if we make a trade now to help us this year and sign a guy, like
he had 39 total receptions in college. It doesn't say how many targets he had, but I'm guessing it wasn't very many targets. So
yeah, oh, yeah. So, but yeah, you're right. We're gonna have a ton of cap space. I don't know who's gonna be a good free agent that we could get, but I mean, I don't know. I know you don't agree, but the way they're doing this is working. So I hate to disagree with what Dean and McDermott are doing because, I mean, this team's so much better this year than last year, and if they can just keep progressing, they'll be good for a long time, I think. And if Allen can make the same strides from year 2 to year 3 that he's made from year 1 to year 2, he's going to be a top 10 top half of the league quarterback. Top 10, maybe top 3.
what? Well, great. A top 16 quarterback. That's what I want with my 3 high draft picks that I used on him.
Top 10 in year 3, but like year 5.
Well, if the guy stays healthy. Fuck, I hate the Vikings and the Redskins. This game sucks. Fucking. Well, but I'm concentrating on this year. We better win 2 of the next 3, and then we have the Dolphins. So really, we should win 3 of the next 4. If we're gonna lose a game, it could be this week. It won't kill us. I mean, for the dreamers out there that actually think about the division, I mean the Patriots just stomped the fuck out of the Jets. So it's like
the Patriots 11-5 is in the cards for New England. So.
No, it's not. But
they play. They're not 6. They could lose to Cleveland this week
at home.
I feel like why not? Miami's off.
Belichick's record against a rookie, which basically Mayfield is like 13-0, like against the spread.
I would just chill with 39 carries, sprinkle in some play action, let Mayfield throw about 10 times, and just pound their defense. The strength of their team is defending the pass, and to come out and the way these teams are attacking New England.
Yeah, because they play scared against it because they know they're going to be down 10-0 before they blink.
Their offense can't score. Just pound. Their offense isn't great. New England's offense isn't great. Just pound the rock, control the clock, and I mean,
thinking they're going to go 5-5 in their next 10 is the funniest take I've ever heard in my entire life.
They could lose to Cleveland, Houston, Kansas City, Dallas, Philly. They could lose to all those teams. None of those games are. I mean, they're not going to lose all of them, obviously, but
they're not going to lose to Baker Mayfield at home. I mean,
we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. We will.
Isn't Cleveland coming off the bye? It's a tough game.
Yeah, Freddie Kitchens, with his track record coming off the bye, being usually he's only coaching 4 fucking players in a tiny room in the basement somewhere, and now this guy's bought a costume at fucking Costco or wherever he shops, pretending to be a fucking head coach. That guy's a disgrace. But I don't want to talk about the Browns for 2 weeks because fuck the Browns.
Yeah, but I mean, anyways, to your point, the next 4 games, if you're going to lose 1, it's against Philly.
And we shouldn't lose this game, mostly because of the injuries. The team's reeling. I mean, they're backstabbing each other, talking shit about Wentz, and they're just flat out not healthy. And they're coming to our barn. Fans. I mean, it's going to be a rainy, sloppy game, so you kind of gotta just. It could be a toss-up just because of the weather, allegedly, how it's supposed to be.
That might favor the Bills.
Well, just you don't know if it's going to favor us or not. Then it's what's the point of saying that? Then it might. Well, it might not. Then because Frank Gore might get his 20 touches for 80 yards. Yeah, I can't wait.
Nah, man, we're the better football team. We're the better coach team. We're the more healthy team. It's a game we should win. It's
better coached.
So many of these games are just coin flips. I don't know.
Yeah, so we just need the other team's kicker to keep fucking missing like they've been doing. So.
Oh my God.
The only reason we win.
Get out of here.
Well, their kickers they're like DVOA. That dickhead had a big thing right up about how they've been inordinately awful kicking against us.
No, I definitely think we've benefited from poor kicking, but our special teams is an abomination. So.
And you still don't know who our special teams coach is. You should be Googling this guy every fucking day. You should get Google alerts, send him hourly updates about this guy's life.
He's not even worth Googling. What's his name? I looked it up last week.
Heath Farwell?
Who? Barwell?
Heath!
Get this guy out of here. Our special teams is terrible. Actually, it improved. It was like 32nd, I think, and now it's like 29th or something. But they still suck. So yeah, we may have benefited from some missed kicks, but who knows how we screwed ourselves in other ways. I don't really know. And the penalties. Are we the most penalized team? I feel like we got to be up there as one of the most penalized teams in the league because we're just killing ourselves with penalties.
Well, Heath Farwell. You gotta know that guy's name. I mean, I text that to our group once a week at least, maybe more.
All right, I'll try and remember for next week after hopefully I never have to talk about this guy again because we'll start performing better. Although the onside kick returned today.
We're 12th in penalties accepted against us, but actually the onside kick return for a touchdown covered I had a Hundy on the Bills minus 8.5 second half.
I think it was they fumbled that. We scored. We were up 10. And then I think the first play of the Dolphins' next try, Fitz fumbled. It was kicking it around at the 10-yard line before he recovered it.
Yeah.
And, I thought we were gonna get I was gonna get the push. It would have been amazing.
Yeah.
17-point push.
It was actually relatively close. Well, I mean, Fitz loves to turn the goddamn ball over, but.
Yeah, but then they recovered that, and then they ended up marching down the field scoring touchdowns.
Well, what's your prediction for this game?
I've been thinking a lot about that, and I just can't get a read on what's going to happen. I really feel like it's a coin flip. So I'm just gonna go Bills 23 and Eagles 21.
I think that because of the injuries, and I'm just going to throw the Dolphins game out. I think we're going to win too. I'm going to say 21-20. The Bills win. They'll miss an extra point or something that'll give it to us again. But I think the weather's going to might be a big factor. I mean, we don't know the exact forecast, but the weather's probably going to be a factor. And I think the Eagles are just, right now, they're dead. I mean, they may come back later in the year and be fine, but not yet.
Yeah, we got to hope that they just are imploding. And we're catching them. I mean, we're really catching them at the perfect time. So, they won in Lambeau? Damn. It's the Packers' only loss. What happened since then?
Well, yeah, so then the Eagles have the Bears next week. And that's a 1:00 game. But, I mean, that's that. Then they play the Patriots. They got a tough slate. So, well, they get the Bears at home. But I think they're going to, well, we'll see. I think we're going to take a win, which is just going to give us more of a chance to make the goddamn playoffs for the second year in 3 years.
Win the division. More of a chance to win the division. Get us to 6-1. Browns beat the Pats. They're 7-1.
I think you're overly tired. You need to go to bed.
We're playing Washington to tie for first in the division. My God.
We'll talk to you next week.
All right, later.
When you look at her and when you see the mind is weak. I don't see it. I don't get it. I never understood.
Hey, who the fuck are you? Huh? Who the fuck are you? Away we go. And away we go. Away we go. Away we go. We go. And away we go. Away. Clap your hands.
Yo, is there any chance you can pause this? I'm pretty sure Mallory's about to throw up everywhere.
All right.
Hang on. I gotta get her out of the car and
Clap your hands.